Hello guys, I wanted to talk to you today about Warner Music Group, which is another of what you would call the big three record labels. Again, those big three record labels being Universal Music Group, Sony Entertainment, something Sony, and Warner Music Group. The story is about Warner Music Group, the third largest of the big three, being after their second IPO this last June of 2020, sold 10% of their shares to Tencent, which is a Chinese company. So Tencent being they focus on technology. They're well known for being the owners of TikTok. So this deal happened back in June when Warner Music Group had their second IPO. And so it was a deal for about $200 million, but it was broken into two separate parts. There's Tencent Music Entertainment, who bought 5.2% of Warner Music Group. And then there's Tencent Holdings, which is the parent company of Tencent Music Entertainment. And Tencent Holdings also purchased 5.2%. So you have two parts of the same company, all ran under Communist China, and they now together own 10% of Tencent, or they now own 10% of Warner Music Group. So this is in addition to late last year, Tencent purchasing a 10% stake of Universal Music Group. So now you have Tencent owning a 10% share of Universal Music Group, as well as owning more than a 10% share of Warner Music Group. So two of the big three record labels are now owned by, or are now partially owned by a Chinese company, that being Tencent. Now, to be clear, when we're talking about this deal with Warner Music Entertainment, Tencent may have a 10% share broken down into two separate branches, 5% each. But their total voting share is less than 2%. That's because these are classified as, the stocks that they purchased are classified as Class A stocks, which, unlike Warner's Class B stocks, don't have the same voting power. So they may own 10% of Warner Music Entertainment, but they have less than a 2% voting power, which makes them completely insignificant. But I think that is short-sighted in several ways to think that this is irrelevant. For one thing, Tencent continues to buy up pieces of these other companies, including Warner's competition. And I also found out recently that, while looking into this, that Tencent owns almost a 10% share in Spotify also. So for one thing, it doesn't look like Tencent has any reason to stop buying pieces of these companies, for Warner Brothers specifically talking now. So right now, sure, it doesn't seem like too much. A 10% share with only a 2% voting power doesn't sound too bad. If they stop now. Are they going to stop now? Who really believes that they're going to stop now? Why would they? If they've got the money to invest in all forms of music and entertainment, why would they stop now? That doesn't make a lot of sense. They're buying fractions of these companies because it gets under the radar. People don't think about the silent partners. Even if the silent partner happens to have a share, he happens to be the silent partner in every single company in the entire industry, which means they're making money no matter what. Now, secondly, this is a two-way street here between between Tencent wanting to get their Chinese entertainers and musicians out into the world and give them global exposure, and this is also about these entertainment companies like Warner wanting to get their artists into the Chinese market. Warner wants to break into the Chinese market, and in doing so, there are going to be compromises. They may not have happened yet, but we've seen with what China has done with Chinese censorship and Chinese demands when it comes to topics about Taiwan or Hong Kong, when it comes to the business they do and the money they give, all of that can be pulled away immediately. Any business that you're doing in Hong Kong can be yanked away from you if you dare to criticize them or their relationships with Hong Kong or Taiwan. So, it's short-sighted to think that this is just about some 10% share in the third largest of the big three record labels with only a 2% voting power. It seems like if trends continue, it's only going to get worse, and we need to be vigilant about this now. Anyway, thanks for your time, guys.